Welcome everybody back to Nine's Corner. I'm Nina. I thought we'd start off this week by having a look and seeing how the week is going to go. And before I start that, I'm going to show you my tarot card deck. This is the one that I bought. I got it off Amazon. I think it was like less than $20. Just to show you, there's the shiny side and then there's the matte side, and the matte side is very cardboardish. Even though it's a nice thick card, I wish it was laminated somehow on the outside, because they're very stiff and they're probably prone to some creasing. Now, I don't mind a few creases here and there or a few scratches here and there, because I just think it adds to the charm of the cards, but some people that really bugs. So as long as you're not too harsh with your cards, you'll get good wear out of them, and they're a really great price. And like I said, if you're interested in tarot reading and you want to learn about it, you can always go and get a cheap dollar store set of playing cards and get permanent marker and write it on yourself, just to get yourself involved in that, if that's something that you want to do. So I thought, let's have a look at the week. What's the week going to look like? Because we're at the end of May. It's the last week. That's a good thing. That means that we're one more month closer to the elections, one more month closer to, God willing, Donald Trump seeing the exit door. And it's summertime, even if we're going through this pandemic and it's difficult and it's hard and it's a heavy, heavy load. But when the summer comes, or at least for the part of the world that's seeing summer, sorry, Australia and anybody else who's having winter, when the summer comes, it's nice to be able to even socially distancing walk and hear a few blue jays, or get to go to a barbecue or do something, because obviously June is definitely going to be a month of reopening. I mean, for June, it is going to be the month of 1 for the world, because we are in a year of 4. You add 4 plus 6 is 10. Make that into the smallest. 1 plus 0 is 1. So we're going to be going into the month of 1 for the world. And for Donald Trump, he's going to be going into the month of 3. So this is going to be a lot of planning, a lot of strategic planning. It's going to be a lot of communication. He is going to be pushing the socialization, and he is going to be even a bigger flub. Like, he's just going to get even more animated, and, there's much more to come. But I'm going to do a video about the numerology for, the coming month, and for some of the key players and stuff. So we'll look into that afterwards. So first we'll start, and let's have a look and see how the week is going to go. Okay. What things are coming up for this week for Donald Trump? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, well, by the end of the week, I think Donald Trump is going to be like wishing that he could go back in time from the look of these cards. I don't have them well placed here. Okay, so we're starting off with the Page of Cups. So there's going to be information, communication, something that's going to cause people to feel emotion is going to come up this week, and we're going to hear about it. There's going to be talk about him trying to help people, trying to get people back to work. He's going to be giving everybody all these reasons as to why we should be moving forth. There's going to be a lot of looking into the fine details of plans and of information. And there's going to be more information coming forth. We're going to start hearing about little whistleblowery type of things. And bless it, he's going to need strength this week. So there is something, because the start of the week, we're going to hear some information that's going to cause emotion for Donald Trump. And he's going to have to bear down and try to get some strength to try to resolve whatever's going to be happening this week. Whatever it is, he's going to swipe at it swiftly, and he's going to deal with it without thinking it all through. There's a devil connection, so there's some kind of oppression. There's something that that's oppressing him, that's addictive to him, something that's holding him down in a place is coming forth this week. There's something, that's affecting him, that's coming forth to him, and there's information going to be coming out. The end of the week, I'm looking at the Six of Cups. So this is information pertaining to things that have happened in the past. And I mean, if you've been watching the news, you're looking at, Taiwan, the people are starting to come back out and speak up. You're seeing anywhere that there's been, any kind of oppression, it's coming out. It's like 2020 is going to be the year of information coming out. And so this week, there's going to be something that from Trump's past that's going to affect his future. So we'll wait and see if something's going to come out this week, but something shall. So I'm going to, there's a card turned over here. So I thought I'd hit on a few things that I saw in the news today. I haven't found it. Maybe that's my imagination. It is that kind of illusion time. So I thought, let's look into, where's my little piece of paper? Oh no. I had a piece of paper here and I don't, oh, here it is. Huh? Oh God, I'm probably like looking around like a fool. So anyway, I thought we'd look into Charlemagne. Now, Charlemagne, who had an interview with Biden. Now, I knew of Charlemagne because I have a guilty pleasure, and it's, how you doing? If anybody knows the Wendy Williams show, she is a talk show queen who lives on, who really walks a fine line and often finds herself falling off the line. So she's a guilty pleasure, and her husband have broke up, and there's been this big history in her private life, and it's all a big to-do. And me doing readings all the time, of course I would be doing readings on Wendy Williams and the whole 9 yards. So that's how I learned about Charlemagne and getting into watching The Breakfast Club. I'm not a consistent watcher, but I watch if they have anybody who, has an interview that I'm interested in. And the fact is that Charlemagne has agreed with him or disagree with him. He has created a situation where anybody who's in the political sphere now needs to go check out The Breakfast Club to be able to get their information or their message out. And the reality is that if you look at, oh my God, if you look at the election, the people that are going to put Biden over the line are black people and the black voter. So I know there's a lot of, kind of opinion about what Charlemagne had said. But from my perspective, and my perspective only, I kind of got the feeling that Charlemagne was saying, look, I'm going to vote for you, but don't take my vote for granted. We have issues, and I'm asking you what you're going to do for us. And it's like, everybody slow down. It's okay for Joe Biden not to be perfect and still vote him in because he is better than Trump any day of the week. But that doesn't make him a saint. And this is 2020. Everybody should get up and say, this is what I want. This is the reality. There's voter suppression. There's more people of color in the prisons than there is of any other ethnicity. We're dealing with a time of coronavirus, and you're watching people, who have, done things like oh God, all the people that have been in jail recently that have gotten out because, you know, they're friends of Donald Trump, Michael Flynn and his lawyer and all these people. And now, yet you have people in jail who literally, you know, had a little bit of marijuana or something. And in the rest of the world, a lot of other countries kind of look at this and go, that's crazy. Why is there so many more people in jail? So, I mean, you know, there's economic issues. There's all kinds of issues, and they deserve to be heard. And they don't deserve to be just said, oh, you know, just vote for me anyway. It's like, no, come on. So I'm interested to see, because when I did the VPs back in a video however long ago, one of the things that I had said that Amy Klobuchar, I saw that she would get an offer of a job, and it possibly could be the VP, or it could be an offer of a job from, it could be an offer from a woman. And I kind of got a feeling that maybe, possibly, that this interview with Charlemagne might push Biden and his camp to seriously look and vet somebody of color for the position. So I'm just going to look and see, is Biden going to choose his VP soon? What kind of a person are we looking at? Maybe we can get some details, you know, to see how that is going to come through. Let's have a look. Because I truly, truly think, and the cards have kind of said it, that whoever Biden picks as the VP is going to be the clincher for the election. And, oh, see, I knew there was a card that was flipped, and I just saw it. Sorry, guys. So, let's have a look and see what's going to happen with Biden and the VP pick. Okay. Ooh. Okay. So there's definitely going to be a choice being made sooner rather than later. This is going to be somebody he can work with, but this is going to be somebody who is intelligent, somebody who's got a kernel of an idea as to how to move forth, especially in this time of the economic crisis and the pandemic. And this is somebody who, like I've said before, this is my Fred Flintstone card. So this is somebody who's going to take an active role. And it's going to be a success. This is going to be somebody who is going to be able to offset any of the negativity that may be coming from the Joe Biden, you know, gaps and different things. And it's going to be somebody that people are going to be able to turn to and say, that's somebody I would vote for. That's somebody that if Joe Biden was to step down tomorrow, that's somebody I can get behind. And the reason why I got so excited, I've been feeling so depressed before I did this reading. I wasn't going to go and do a reading because it was just like, there's so much negativity. And now it's like, this is a really positive card. This means he's going to be picking somebody, not only that they're going to be helpful, but they're going to be able to restructure and rebrand the White House, you know, because Donald Trump, no offense, guys, you know, Canada and the world is kind of going, hold on now, what happened? Like, did we, you know, fall asleep at the wheel and wake up in a different universe? Because America has not been the America we know for a long time. You know, the fact that Donald Trump is the representative, I mean, everybody around the world is scared. I mean, you know, he's got a finger on the button, and the man just has no soul, and it's scary. So, oof. But that was really positive. I'm happy about that. Let's have a look and see. Chicago. I saw some really unsettling news out of Chicago, and I know that it affects more than just one state. It affects like several of them. But they were saying that a judge has overruled and said that yes, you are legally allowed to share the address of people with COVID. And guys, I'm all for humans taking care of other humans. I'm all for tracing and doing everything we can to save everybody from this pandemic. But at the same time, I don't think this is a time that we need to give up our rights. And I certainly don't think it's a time that we need to give up our rights that you get to know what's in my medical file. Like, this is disturbing. So I thought, guys, we're always worried about what Donald Trump is doing and what McConnell is doing and what, all the other people, the bad players who are making money off the backs and the sweat and the tears of the regular folks. We're not looking at what are they doing that we can't see. Are they taking away our rights? Because believe me, it's not just happening in the United States. It's happening all over the world. They're taking away our rights, taking away the middle class and making it be the haves and the have-nots. So let's look and see, is this going to become a trend? How is the energies that are happening and coming out of Chicago with this, them allowing for people to, out the people who have coronavirus and where they live, and is this going to become a thing? Or is it going to be, are people going to start standing up and saying, hold on now, we have rights, we have human rights. So let's have a look and see. What's going to be the result of this? Well, this is definitely going to be a reason for people to pick up and say, what's going on here? This is the Wheel of Fortune. This is like the turn. This is, there's only if it was only one or two places, then fine. But when you start affecting several places, I think there's going to be a turn of events where people are going to say, hold on now, it's really cloudy, we don't understand what's going on, but, people are going to start setting the alarm off that our rights are being taken away. There are people, this is almost like I get a sense of almost like a two message from this card, because on the one hand, I'm getting people celebrating, being able to hold people back and to get away with doing this and being, taking up that gauntlet of power. But then the second message is like, well, yes, that's going to be happening, but at the same time, there's going to be those whistleblowers who are going to say, hold on now, there's something happening. And God willing, there's going to be enough people to just at least try to listen. So I feel like there's going to, the push for this to become countrywide is small, because we're looking at a page. If this was the King of Wands, I'd be like, oh God, guys. But because it's the page, I think it's just going to be a couple of, places where they're going to try to push for this kind of policy. But as they try to move anywhere else or into bigger venues, it's going to become something that people are not going to be willing to kind of put up with. I mean, people aren't willing to give up all their rights. I mean, we're scared, and it just kind of makes you go like, what are they doing behind our backs? What kind of, oi. So, and then that brings me to, I wanted to talk about Brazil, because who's his name? Bolsonaro. He is literally just out there saying, he's like Trump without anybody watching what they're doing. His son is in trouble, and he is trying to get rid of the people who are investigating him. Hi, sweetie. He is literally out there saying, hey, you know what? Open up. People are going to die. It's just the way it is. This is a criminal. This is somebody who promoted hydrochloroquine, the same as Donald Trump, and tried to buy a bunch of it off of India. And him and Donald Trump are really good friends. So Brazil, they're having a really hard time of it. So I thought, well, let's mention them so that people put them in their minds and send out some special prayers and thoughts of good for them. and to just have a quick look and see like what is going to be the result of it. Are people going to be able to protect themselves? What's going to happen in Brazil? Oh, I got. Okay. Oh, Brazil. Brazil. Don't lose hope, because there is a lot of hope. There are going to be people who are going to be walking away from the dictator. They're going to be seeing the writing on the wall and realizing, you know, this is just too much. You're going to see more people standing up, and I believe that their president is going to end up having to leave. He's going to take his problems with him, because it's almost like it's just gotten too big. And the end result is that it's going to bring happiness and completion to the Brazilian people. So although I think, you know, Brazil's in a really hard place right now, when I ask for an overall sense, because I mean, I you know, I get the overall sense that don't lose faith. Things are difficult. We're all going through it. Some of us harder than others, but don't lose faith. There's some good things happening for Brazil or coming to Brazil. So that's a good thing. And yeah, so I think that'll be our reading for today. Now, I did want to shout out Howard Stern, because he's kind of that person I love and hate, because when I was younger and all the teenage guys would be like, we love Howard Stern, and they'd like all his, you know, shows, and I couldn't stand them at that point. But then as he's gotten older, and he's done really awesome interviews with a lot of musicians and stuff, and I love interviews with people. Like, I watch all that kind of stuff, the Actors Studio, all that kind of stuff. So he's gotten really good, and I just love the fact that he pushed back on Donald Trump Jr., because I do not want to hear from him. And I love the fact that Howard Stern is finally saying, you know what, no, this is no longer a joke, and he's starting to put pressure on Donald and his family. So I enjoyed that. Just as a little side note. And before we go, as always, I have our candle lit for each and every one of us. And I just wanted to remind everybody, because, you know, I'm kind of coming into this in a bad mood, and actually in a much better mood now. But one of the things that I do when I'm having an off day, which happens, you know, occasionally, one of the things that I've learned through all my research and living and reading and all that kind of stuff, and I can't remember who it was that had said it, but they said it's really important to be cognizant of the last things that you remember, what that you think about before you go to bed at night, because however long you sleep, be it 5 hours or 8 hours, you're going to marinate in the last thoughts that you had. They're going to be the things that you think about for that whole time. They're going to be what's going to set you off into your dream world. And the reality is that I know you guys don't believe me, but the power is in you. You have the power to be aware of your feelings, be aware of your emotions, because your emotions create the reality that you and I are in. And you have the ability to create an environment that's love and that's hopeful and that's positive and good for you. So if you need to turn around your day and feel a little bit more positive, well, you could get a cat for one. Or, you know, make sure that no matter what's going on, who you're angry with, no matter how the day has gone, spend the last couple of minutes thinking about the things that bring you joy and love and happiness. And even if our day when we're awake is having to deal with all this craziness in the world, at least for however long we're sleeping, we can try our best to put ourselves into a positive, loving stream of energy so we can enjoy part of our day anyway, right? All right, guys. Wishing you light for your darkness. Hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to each other soon. Take care.